My name's Alexander Lindley, and I was talking with a friend a couple of hours ago about ascension from the 3D to the 5D. And afterwards, it got me thinking about what is it that I actually believe around this subject. What are my views? I've heard about these ideas for the last 15 years from various spiritual groups and teachers and things that I've been involved in, especially when I started having a connection with Glastonbury and started visiting a spiritual retreat centre in Glastonbury. And then eventually I moved to Glastonbury for 2 years, from 2011 to 2013, and got involved in the Openhand spiritual community, where there was a lot of teaching and ideas about what this means, what ascension means. And I jotted down some thoughts about what it isn't and what it is, or what it might be. I'm from a Christian background, a Catholic background, and the Bible teaches that Jesus ascended into heaven after his crucifixion and death, and I think after his physical resurrection, the ascension came later, and I think this is a metaphor. That story, whether or not it happened in reality, is a metaphor for what ascension is today. So I don't think ascension today means human beings literally ascending physically, going up into some kind of heaven and leaving behind those that remain in the 3D. I don't think that's ascension. The second thought I had was that it might be, and this is maybe sort of talked about more in spiritual circles in these days, is that there is talk about the event or an event, which presumably means some kind of catastrophic event for humankind, or for planet Earth, or for the biosphere. And so I was thinking about whether ascension means, some human beings physically surviving such a catastrophic future event on planet Earth. For example, by being transported physically to another planet, in another solar system, galaxy, or even universe, or perhaps their souls or spirits being sort of transported or rescued in some way, saved. I hear this term saved, saved from the coming catastrophe on planet Earth, and their souls or spirits being transported or taken to another dimension or another part of the universe. And I think this is a bit closer to what ascension really means, but I still don't think that's really it. It's just my perspective, my views, my intuitive sense. I think that ascension, from the 3D to the 5D, is more about an individual human being's soul or spirit evolving whilst here on planet Earth, whilst residing in a human body, and so the soul or spirit changing its vibrational frequency or level to a different state of existence. This is what kind of where it gets all very complicated in my mind, because the soul or spirit might move from the 3D to the 5D, but it still resides in a sort of 3D physical body. So it's kind of like living in two worlds, or two different states of existences simultaneously. I think that's what ascension is or means to me. And I hear talk about the planet Earth ascending from the 3D to the 5D, and this has already happened. And I kind of concur, intuitively that feels right. And so the planet has ascended, moved from the 3D to the 5D, but is still in both states of existence simultaneously. And that gives the opportunity, or allows, individuals, sort of human beings, the souls, to ascend with the planet. Or maybe that happens automatically. So maybe it's more a case that, some people are aligned or in tune with allowing this ascension. They sort of take it on board. They go with it. That doesn't mean to say it's easy. I think it can be quite arduous, quite difficult, quite challenging, because it brings up all kinds of sort of karma and having to sort of work through emotional stuff, and whereas maybe some human beings on the planet, they feel or sense this ascension happening around them, or their souls or spirits do, but they kind of resist it for whatever reason, and want to sort of stay engaged in the sort of what's going on in the 3D, in the physical realms, in the sort of in the drama of what's going on planet Earth. There's a lot that could be said about that, but also I don't want to sort of try and make this sort of a pejorative thing, that some people are better than others because they're ascending, or I don't think it's really like that. I think it just, I think it just kind of an experience that some human beings, or the souls or spirits of human beings, are having at the moment, and it is linked to, I see planet Earth, or Gaia, as a sort of living being that has a rather long lifespan, much longer than the average human being, so lifespan of sort of billions of years, and that Gaia has a spirit, an energy, a soul, and for all kinds of kind of very complicated reasons that I don't pretend to sort of fully understand, that Gaia, because of her own, and I think it's usually described as a she, but it doesn't have to be, but that Gaia is has fulfilled some kind of mission or destiny or task or soul contract, and is now in the process of ascending from what's called the 3D to the 5D, for her own reasons. But as, human beings and a whole load of other life exists on planet Earth, we're kind of caught up in this, being sort of taken along with this, swept up by it. And so that has big implications for, human life and indeed other life on the planet. And, it may be that in a number of decades or centuries, possibly millennia, human beings in physical form won't be able to exist on the planet because, the biosphere will have been destroyed, or the temperatures will be really high, or there'll be lots of sort of radiation that's sort of come through, or, would have had nuclear wars, or other catastrophes, there might be a pole shift, or huge volcanic activities, or even huge asteroid hitting the planet, all kinds of things could potentially happen. But human beings in their present physical form might be very much sort of time limited on the planet, and a lot of people are sort of talking about this, and it's been sort of predicted in all kinds of sort of religious teachings and books and scriptures, going back down the millennia, that there will be the end times, a sort of cataclysm, a catastrophe. I forget some of the terms now, but it's talked about in the scriptures that it's talked about in various terms. So that's kind of my sense of what Ascension is about. It's like basically a huge, all-encompassing energy shift that's affecting the planet Gaia, and as human beings, we're living on this planet, so we're affected by it, and and we are ascending, or we have the choice, the possibility, the option to ascend, to become spiritually more evolved. I don't like that term because, again, it's got a like sort of pejorative sort of element to it, that, you know, I'm evolved, so I'm superior or better than somebody else who isn't evolved. But I don't think it's like that, really. It's just an evolution, a progression, a development, and I'm fascinated by it. I am fascinated by it, and I don't pretend to understand it, really, and possibly no individual human being can understand it if it is, you know, some kind of energy shift affecting the whole planet. You know, it's something sort of, it's beyond, you know, an individual's ability to comprehend or consciousness. That's what makes it quite interesting, you know, because there's all kinds of theories and ideas around it that, you know, what's causing this shift, this from 3D to 5D. You know, is it activity on the sun, different energy being sent out from the sun, solar winds, radiations? Is it something coming from elsewhere in the solar system or the galaxy, you know, from the galactic core? Is it, and this is a bit more kind of out there and woo-woo, you know, is it linked to some kind of alien intervention on planet Earth, you know, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years ago, that's being sort of challenged in some way by energies from the planet or from outside the planet? And, you know, I hear about kind of the crystal grid or crystalline grid around the planet changing or breaking down or developing, and you can even start talking about, you know, the different alien energies that might be present on the Earth or have been present on the Earth for millions or billions of years, and, you know, what's going on there. Yeah, it's all fascinating stuff, and there's so much in there. And, you know, is it benevolent? Is it malevolent? Is it benign? Is there some kind of conspiracy? You know, are human beings in their present form being farmed by some kind of alien energies that feed off our souls or spirits or emotions? And, you know, what about reincarnation? You know, do human beings, souls or spirits of human beings, sort of reincarnate on planet Earth? And why do they reincarnate? And do we have a choice about reincarnation or not? What's behind reincarnation, if that's what happens? Yeah, I'm fascinated by all of this. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. That's like a sort of a snapshot of my kind of current sort of thoughts and beliefs and feelings around ascension from the 3D into the 5D, and how it affects human beings, other life forms, and indeed the planet. So I'll stop there, and if you've got any thoughts, comments or feedback, it's all very welcome, and see you soon.